Posting a quick video here on a neat trick I learned at a recent dual sport event I attended. I actually have that event posted. It's called the Hooch Dual Sport Ride, or the Chattahoochee Dual Sport Ride. Beautiful ride in the North Georgia mountains. But I had to use a roll chart at that event. Second time I had to use a roll chart. First time did not go well. I didn't have the right setup. I couldn't read the mileage on my KTM display because my eyes are bad and it's in tiny font. So I had a lot of trouble, ended up just following a couple guys. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna buy a Garmin Zumo XT, and next time I'll just upload some digital files and follow the track. Well, guess what? This last event didn't have that option. You had to use the roll chart. So the night before I looked up videos to see how can I best set up my Garmin Zumo XT along with a roll chart. I couldn't find anything. So I figured it out, and I figured it out the night before, set it up, practiced it, and it worked like a charm. Really, in fact, enjoyed using the roll chart, I gotta say. Was actually leading a group for part of the day, which was nice, considering it was only my second time using a roll chart. But I was able to not only easily reset my time, I was actually able to customize my menu and track, for instance, my total mileage throughout the day as well, and a few other items. So I'll show you how to set that up. It's really easy. If you like this video, then go ahead and give it a like. And if you have another way you're using the Garmin Zumo XT along with a roll chart, please put it in the comments. Would love to learn that, and also share it with any viewers who happen to come along this video. So with that said, let's get to it and talk about how to set it up. So here's a setup that I used for the recent dual sport ride. You can see I have my roll chart, easy reach right in front of me. I have my TFT display with the small font that I can't read. I did try to set it up with trip 1 and trip 2, with trip 1 being the mileage that I reset every time I had a reset on the roll chart. Too hard to read. The other reason, because it's too hard to read, is that it brings my eyes off the road, right? I have to stare down into the display, and I don't want to have to stop and put my glasses on when I'm on the trails to read that. So I've got my Garmin Zumo XT, and big font, and also I like the location of it since it's up high on my KTM. It's actually real easy to just kind of shift up and down off the road, and I'm going to show you how to set this up when you're using a roll chart. So the first step you want to do is hit View Map. So once you hit View Map, you have a view of the map. Not sure if you realize you got 3 buttons here that'll give you additional options that you'll be able to pull up a little blue sidebar with 3 adjustable areas, actually, that you can customize them with a whole menu of options, and I'll show you how I used it. Now, in this case also, on the bottom, you'll see where it says direction northwest. You can actually change that out as well. Okay, so let's walk through. This is the setup I used, and as I was playing with this, I realized there are 2 other options that you have that I'll walk through as well. So option 1, again, what worked for me, but what you do is you click on these 3 dots, you scroll down, you select trip data, and it pulls up this little menu here, the blue bar. That'll stay there even if you back out of this menu and come back. It will stay there. So I think when you restart it and turns off and on, you may need to bring it back. Or if you accidentally hit the X and it goes away, you just simply follow the steps again, 2 clicks, and you have it back up and running. Now, as you can see here where it says trip A, average speed, trip B, you could actually customize those. And let me show you how to do that. So average, let's say I want to change this. I click on average, and you'll see green plus marks, and you'll see a few gray. So anything that's gray means you have it selected already. Green means you can replace it. So in this case, let's say I want to change it out for elevation. And you can see it's that simple, change to elevation. Now, the way I set this up was I put trip A on the bottom. I made sure there's a little space between trip A and trip B, because when I'm resetting, I don't want to accidentally reset trip B, which I use to track my total mileage throughout the day. So what I would do is just reset trip A, and then, on day 1, I knew we had 125 miles. I could track how far we were throughout the day towards that end of the ride, and it was very helpful. You could even put trip B if you want here where it says direction, and swap those out as well. So how do you reset your data? And this is important because this is going to be something that replicates with the next 2 examples that I share with you. So when you reset trip A, you simply click on trip A, and it goes back to that menu I showed you, but you want to click these 3 bars at the top left, and then you want to select reset field. Now this is important because you have options. If you select all, you're going to reset everything, including trip B. I only want to reset trip A, so you want to select reset overall data. It says here clears trip A and total data. So when you do that and you reset it, you'll see you go back and it'll reset my trip A to 0, and my trip B remains the same, okay? And that's as simple as that. I think it's 4 clicks. And again, I was able to do this while riding slow and safe, or pulling over and doing it over a few seconds every time I had a reset on my roll chart. So that's option 1. Now, option 2 is a real simple one. If you don't want that bar, you can simply change this to trip A. So if you scroll down and you select trip A, you can just keep trip A here. And again, you could reset it following the same steps I showed you earlier, just selecting trip A and resetting that, and then going back. And that's how you can track that. Now, in my case, you know, I like to have trip B. This speed you cannot change. So what's the third option if you're using a roll chart? And the third option, this is pretty cool, is clicking here on speed. It gives you this whole menu, and you automatically have trip A on the left, you have trip B on the right. And then you have all this other information: max speed, average speed. It tells you how fast you're going, time, elevation, gives you your GPS accuracy and location coordinates as well. So very cool. You could actually keep this up. Now for me, you know, I like having the map as well. So this probably won't be an option I'll use. I like having the map because when I have some, you know, maybe twisties and turns up ahead, as I'm trying to manage my speed, I want to know what's coming up ahead, especially going off-road on a mid-size adventure motorcycle. But if you are using this option and you want to reset trip A, in this case, you can't really click on these areas or tap on them. But what you do is you hit the 3 bars and you follow the same procedures. You hit reset field, and again, reset overall data clears trip A only, and you hit reset. It will only reset your trip A. It'll keep your trip B the same. And then I guess in this case, it might reset some of the other data that you have, but that's okay, right? If you're moving average speed and time, it'll kind of give you a sense of total time as you're hitting each section of your roll chart. Okay, so those are the 3 options. Hope this comes in handy. Again, you know, please leave in the comments if you've used the Garmin Zumo XT along with the roll chart, and if there's any other neat tricks that you can share with me and others that happen to find this video on YouTube. One more thing I almost forgot to video, a neat little trick to keep my Garmin Zumo XT mounted. So it's got this quick release mount. Now, reading online forums and also YouTube videos, looks like it's pretty secure. I haven't read of or heard of any cases that it's popped off. But again, while you're on an adventure and you're hitting rough terrain, things happen, and the last thing I want to do is lose my Garmin out in the trails. It's a heavy investment, I know, and you know, whatever we can do to keep it safe. So in this case, what I did was, as you can see, if I take it off, I actually have this little tether on the back. I got this with my GoPro, a GoPro kit that came with a bunch of accessories, and it's got 3M tape on the back, and it's got this strong tether, and I just wrapped that tether around the frame, and since I have screws behind the frame, it really secures well in there, and if it were ever to pop off, I won't lose it. And you know, hopefully it'll keep it safe. I don't think it'll happen, but would rather be safe than sorry. Hope this helps. Again, please give it a thumbs up if you like it. We'll see you soon. Take care. Hey, ride safe, get out there, have an adventure, and enjoy the ride.